Coming up on your local news on 7:2, Spencer Gulf communities rally to help those affected by bushfires, and Clare Valley wineries prepare for a bumper vintage. Tonight, Spencer Gulf communities rally to support those from fire-ravaged areas, while our own volunteers pitch in, helping to fight the blazes themselves.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Louise Hedger begins now.
Good evening. More than 23 lives have been lost and 2,000 homes destroyed as unprecedented bushfires continue to rage across the nation. Communities on the Spencer Gulf are pitching in to do what they can to help, setting up fundraisers and appeals for those devastated by the fires. Nathan Rector begins our coverage.
Authorities are labelling this one of Australia's worst bushfire seasons. Hundreds of communities have been left devastated, thousands are displaced, with warnings that the threat is far from over. For more information, visit their website. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Local SES volunteers have been working around the clock to assist authorities at Kangaroo Island who are dealing with the bushfires. A local district officer will be travelling to the island tomorrow and says it's important for our region to support theirs.
Familiar local faces fighting for South Australia. State emergency volunteers are the crucial helping hands assisting authorities on Kangaroo Island.
From 9 different units. From all the way from Port Lincoln up to Roxby, down through Saddleworth, Clare and Warooka.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Both New South Wales and South Australian health authorities have issued warnings about the effects of bushfire smoke drifting across the states. They're urging people to seek medical attention if they're having trouble breathing. People with asthma are reminded to follow their action plan. SA Health says some ways to minimise the effects of smoke is staying indoors, closing windows and vents and staying in air-conditioned rooms. Hundreds of dollars has been raised at a boot camp charity event held in Whyalla over the weekend. Many locals turned up to support the fundraiser, which helps bushfire-affected wildlife.
Sweating for a cause, almost 100 locals joining together to support those left with nothing following Australia's devastation.
Still to come tonight, a teenager loses his licence after blowing 5 times over the legal limit, and a bumper vintage season expected for the Clare Valley. Hello again. A P-plater has lost his licence for a year after recording a blood alcohol reading almost 5 times the legal limit at Port Vincent last night. Just after 6 o'clock, a member of the public stopped a vehicle driving with a punctured tyre. Police then arrived and breath tested the 18-year-old, who recorded a reading of .247. He was reported for drink driving and breaching provisional licence conditions and is due to face court at a later date. Returning to our bushfire coverage now, and Port Augusta locals are also among those rallying to help raise money to support the emergency services battling the bushfires. It started as a couple of simple ideas, but now the funds raised total almost $20,000.
Everybody doing their bit to help those in need, hosting or attending fundraisers.
Stay with us after the break. Art awards attract some of the best work from across the region, and Broken Hill businesses reap the rewards from the holiday trading period. Welcome back. Artists from across the Eyre Peninsula have converged in Port Lincoln for the annual Arts Prize Awards. It was tough competition as more than 80 artworks of all shapes and sizes were on show, but only one could be crowned the winner.
A flurry of colour, paintings, sculptures and installations on show for the annual Port Lincoln Art Prize. Emma Fay from Guildhouse in Adelaide flying over especially to judge the awards.
Coming up after the break, this week's cricket wrap and the weather with Britt. Hello again. Broken Hill's cricketers took to the field at the weekend after their Christmas break. Plenty of wickets were falling in the Silver City clash between South and North. Patrick Reinke has the wrap-up.
The old saying in cricket is catches win matches. Saturday's South-North rivalry fixture saw some top quality fielding. North batted first and started to build a strong total through Matt Letcher and Brendan Martin. A special mention must be given to the game between Spalding, Boobarawi and Burra. Zach Fielding made a monstrous 147 during his side's win, a top performance from the opener. We'll be back tomorrow night with a wrap-up of the region's other sports.
Now for a look at what's happening in the weather, here's Britt, Aylen.
Thanks, Louise, and good evening. Warm and sunny conditions across the region today. Port Augusta reached 38 degrees, Port Pirie 36, Whyalla and Broken Hill 35, Port Lincoln 28. And here's what it looked like from the satellite today, with clear skies over the Spencer Gulf under a broad region of high pressure. Looking ahead to tomorrow now on the waters, southwesterly winds tending southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, with seas around 1.5 metres. Mostly sunny conditions on the forecast. Port Augusta and Broken Hill both looking at tops of 38 degrees tomorrow. Corn 37, Woodna, Port Pirie and Clare 36, Kadina 34, Whyalla 33, Cleve 30, Port Lincoln and Coffin Bay both 24. Further through the week, and it's looking partly cloudy over the eastern and lower Eyre Peninsula. Port Lincoln with maximums sitting in the early 20s, slightly warmer at Cleve and temperatures in the early to mid-30s at Woodna. Whyalla partly cloudy Wednesday and Thursday with sunny conditions on Friday. Port Augusta sunny and 31 on Wednesday, partly cloudy on Thursday, and some gusty winds expected at Kadina on Wednesday, looking at a top of 30 degrees. Fine and partly cloudy about the mid-north on Wednesday and Thursday, maximums a degree or two either side of 30. Broken Hill with a possible thunderstorm on Wednesday, 36 degrees, warm and sunny Thursday and Friday. And Louise, before I go, with extreme UV levels predicted for the coming days, a reminder to use sun protection between 9 a.m. and 5:30 in the evening.
Certainly good advice. Thank you for that, Britt. And that's your local news this evening. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back with your local news tomorrow. Good night.